Moving it to the center, right?
Unless you wish to adopt that. That's that video for right now, we're looking at something
Move just the center.
but then we're like, oh, that's great. So then we're like, oh, that's great.
All rise, please. Jury court is now in session. The Honorable Terrence Ketchum presiding.
Please be seated. We'll begin with the arraignment portion of our miscellaneous docket. We'll begin by the defendant, Price Williams, first. Would the attorneys identify yourself for the record?
Yes, sir. Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office for Timothy Price Williams. The case numbers for the record are 22 CF 3158 and 22 CF 3204.
Trey Myers for the state, Judge.
Bridget Jensen for the state. Jensen, S-E-N or O-N? J-E-N-S-E-N. Okay, and Mr.
Myers, N-Y.
Mr. Price Williams.
Alvin.
Judge, on Mr. Price Williams' case number 22 3158, the state's provided me a copy of the indictment. We would waive reading in our plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, and 15 days to file any pre-arraignment motions. On the other case, 22 3204, I didn't see any information on benchmarks, so I don't know what's going on with that one.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that an information has not been filed in 3204, but one will be filed. If we could pass that case to the March 14th plea day, Your Honor.
Court will continue this arraignment on 22 CF 3204 until March 14th at 1:30.
And Your Honor, in the 3158 case, the state did file on February 6th.
Hold on a second. On the 14th, we have. Therefore, we'll just get the arraignment. That's fine. We can do 3, 4
on that arraignment. And then you've got 5 after that.
How many arraignments?
44.
What's the 21st?
You have 18.
Okay, why don't we do March 21st at 1:30 for the rearrangement, or the continuation of the arraignment on 22 CF 3204.
Thank you, Judge. And Your Honor, in 22 CF 3158, the state filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty on February the 6th of this year. We served it on Mr. Price Williams the same day. It's my understanding the public defender does not have a death qualified defense attorney right now. I'd ask that we pass this for attorney status for control date to see what they are going to decide to do, Judge.
Mr. Russell?
That's fine, Judge, if you want to set for the same date and time.
Okay, that sounds, that was just what I was going to ask, how long? Very good, we'll come back on the 21st of March at 1:30 as a general status, but to review the defense counsel specifically.
And that's all, Your Honor.
Very good. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Judge.
We'll begin at the top of the arraignment docket. John Affleck.
Before we begin your afternoon, I didn't know if you wanted to take up Mr. Taylor. Did I have an opportunity to
Let's
confer?
go ahead and do the arraignments and then we'll do Mr. Taylor.
Understood. I'll wait.
Judge, this is John Affleck. Case number for the record is 23 CF 182. Charles Russell for the Public Defender's Office. And I think, Judge, on this case, the state informed me that they were sending this down to misdemeanor.
Yes, Your Honor. The information that has been received does not give the rise for the felony charge that was charged in this case of the violation, injunction, the domestic violence battery will be going to county court. We can leave this on the next arraignment just to make sure that that transfer is done, but it will be done.
Okay. So we'll come back. When's our next arraignment? We have arraignments on the 14th. We have some of those.
Yes, sir, that's the one we have to leave the room.
Let's do it on 3/21 in the afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
1:30, Judge?
Yes, sir. 1:30. Mr. David Archer. Thank you. David Archer, can you bring it up? You say the 100 does not.
Judge, on Mr. Affleck's case, that's the one we just took care of. We come back to felony court on 3/21, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And if it's been transferred, I assume it'll just go away.
The case should
I'm
be closed.
anticipating that it will just go away, but
It
it's
will.
more of just a status.
Correct, Judge.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're going,
David
I thought we
Archer.
were doing advocacy first. My apologies, Your Honor.
Let's just track them.
Let's go ahead and vote everybody up in order. They're going to do advocacy and advocacy at the same time.
We don't have that many, so they should go quickly.
Yeah, we don't have that. My apologies. I
No,
know
that's
that
all
was
right.
an inmate. I thought you were doing advocacy.
That's all right.
Archer first. Archer first. Jay.
We have to let go of this morning.
Yeah, you can do them last. After the arraignment, guys.
Okay, we're gonna do the leftover from this morning last. Archer?
You said the arraignment, sir.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office. Judge, this is David Archer. Case numbers are 23 CF 100 and 23 CF 166. On 23 CF 100, from talking to the state this morning, is my understanding that they're going to send that case to misdemeanor court and that they filed an information on 23 CF 166. We would enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury, and 15 days to filing pre-motions on that case.
So is that correct regarding the other case?
Yes, Your Honor, 23 CF 100, he does not qualify for the felony habitual traffic offender.
So should we come back like we're doing on the previous case, come back on 321 just for more of a status? 321?
And Your
And that'll
Honor,
go away if it goes to misdemeanor court, right?
yes, Your Honor, it will fall off, that case would fall off Your Honor's docket, but the state did file, as Mr. Russell said, in 23 CF 166, the state also has a notice of intent to seek habitual felony offender sentencing that needs to be served in court. If I can hand this to Mr. Russell on the record from reflect that that the defendant has been served to his counsel and a court.
We'll contact you.
So noted.
Thank you.
And so we'll come back on our regular pretrial on 4/12.
That's fine with us, Judge.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, this is what you're...
Thank you very much.
He's going down the list. He's going down the list.
Analysis.
He'll call.
Canales Gaiza. Judge, state filed a no pros in that case yesterday. I don't get a response from the audience, but they did file a no pros yesterday.
Okay, very good. Coltman. Cheyenne Coltman. That's a no attorney case. Would the state announce, please?
Yes, Your Honor. This is State of Florida versus Cheyenne Coltman. Your Honor, the state did file a one-count information alleging grand theft over $5,000. And this will be at the very least a probation sentence, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Ms. Coltman, you do have a right with these charges to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford one. Are you planning to hire an attorney, or you want
I would
the
like
court
an
to
appointed.
appoint? Okay. The court will appoint the public defender.
Thank you.
I'm doing so provisionally so that you have a chance to fill out the paperwork, make sure you're eligible. But I'm going to go ahead and enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. What that does is it preserves your rights. You get a chance to talk to your attorney, determine kind of where things are going with this case before taking any type of substantive action. And we'll come in, we will return on the pre-trial, which is on 4/10, 10th of April.
Yes, ma'am.
And be in touch with your attorney in the meantime. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Did y'all file that information? Because when I checked yesterday, there wasn't one. Oh, okay.
Good call.
Well, it has another document, it was filed yesterday. That's all.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is William Davis. Mr. Medina.
Charles Russell, Public Defender's Office for William Davis. You William Davis? Mr. Davis is presently approaching. Case number is 23 CF 155. The state has filed an information. Yes, we'd enter a plea of not guilty, request trial by jury in 15 days to file any pre-grant motions.
Very good. The court will enter a not guilty plea. We'll come back for pre-trial on 4/10.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. Christina Philgo. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Oh, Your Honor, she was one that went to the Crestview Courthouse by accident. She said she's on her way here though, so she'll be late.
Okay, we'll pass over Ms. Philgo. Lauren Gagnor. Mr. Gates, this is
And Your Honor, I was going to mention, I don't know how or why I got appointed in this case. This was one where the state actually had conversations with this Gagnor about the plea agreement. She got a copy of the plea agreement. and then left court. At no point did the court actually appoint me, so I'm a bit perplexed as to how the case was assigned to me.
Mrs. Gagnor?
Gagnor.
Yes, sir, and I think I even made sure the court wasn't appointing me. We were just going to bring her back in today. The court said I wasn't appointed.
State, what's going on? Not so much with,
All I wrote down was the offer was announced and provided to the defendant for perusal. Defendant left the courthouse with the agreement before the court would go any further.
Oh, that's
Okay.
So you put it on today.
the court will unappoint Mr. Gates. Can I do that? Unappoint?
Yes, Your Honor. I'll put it down as
Clarify that you're not appointed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whatever gets us there.
Yes, Your Honor.
And does the state have any further information, any contact with this defendant?
The state has no representations to make to the court at this time. I would ask for wages.
Court will grant a no bond capias. Next is Braden Grimm. Could the state announce? No.
Braden Grimm is charged in 23 CF 159 with 1 count of trafficking in hydrocodone, 1 count of unlawful use of two-way communication device, and 7 counts of obtaining drugs by fraud or forging a prescription.
Mr. Grimm, I see that you do not have an attorney at this point. You do have a right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one. Do you wish to have an attorney appointed, or are you going to hire private counsel?
I was going to hire an attorney, and I bonded out so I could hire one, and there's a hold on me in Santa Rosa, and they haven't came and got me yet, so I haven't been able to hire one myself.
Mr. Cage?
Yes, Your Honor. I was going to let the court know that he had actually posted almost surety bonds amount of $50,000. So I think by default he would not qualify for the public defender's office. He simply has a.
Well, that's not necessarily true. You might have family.
Yeah, my family paid the bond.
I mean, seriously.
And the PD application actually has that question on the application. He hadn't filled one out. That's why I wasn't sure.
I understand.
I've been asking the county to give me a form to request one, but I haven't been able to get one.
Well, I'm going to.
I should
go ahead and
by now,
appoint
so
a
I
public
can-
defender.
Okay.
It'll be provisional.
Yeah.
You got to fill that out, and if you're found not to be indigent, then they'll kick it back.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna hire an attorney, but I just haven't had the chance to get out, even though I bonded out.
Well, then why appoint the PD if he's intending to hire an attorney? It seems like a waste of cost and everything else at this point, Your Honor. We can come back.
If you're telling me you're going to hire an attorney, then you're right.
I'm planning on
Here's-
hiring one. I haven't been able to get out.
And Your Honor.
And that's the problem. You really don't want to be in jail without an attorney. It's a bad place to. It's not a good situation to be in. You can.
Yeah.
I believe he has similar charges in South Florida as well. I've spoken to a prosecutor down there, and he's got the same type of charges in Santa Rosa County, for which he's got a hold. So I believe the prosecutor in South Florida is planning on revoking his bond if he bonds out here. So he would just transfer from one jail to another.
And again, he's not being held on our stuff. It's the Santa Rosa County warrant.
I
So.
understand. So if he's being held in Santa Rosa, they got a hold of him. I mean, don't they come get him fairly quickly?
I bonded out January 25th.
Usually they have 30-ish days, I think.
I know, but usually Walton and Santa Rosa, don't they usually, make weekly pickups? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking.
I can follow up with the jail, Your Honor, and see what the holdup is on this and get an answer probably this afternoon if the court would like.
That'd be great.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Has that information been filed?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the court's gonna go ahead and enter a not guilty plea, so I'm gonna get that out of the way right now. And we'll have a status. I mean, for some reason you're still on hold, we'll come back on 321 and figure out what's going on. But I don't know what else to do at this point. Okay? So we'll come back 321 at 9 a.m. in the morning.
And Your Honor, if he does get transported, can we make sure to waive his appearance so that he doesn't?
Absolutely. We have to figure out how to do that.
Your Honor, I think if the state just says that if he's in custody in another county, they won't ask for a capias, I think would be the easiest way.
That's correct.
Okay, very good.
So the state's waiting now?
Yes,
Okay.
he's in custody elsewhere, but
I
not
just
after
put our
our
papers on for their status.
He's verified.
Right.
Thank you about that.
Misty Hart.
In a second.
Skip Misty Hart, she's an inmate, we have a man in there right now.
Gotcha. Skylar Holmes.
If we can pass Mr. Holmes, Your Honor, I have a plea agreement I need to discuss with him. It'll end up with his release this afternoon.
Okay. That's all I've got for the arraignments. We've got Philgo who's coming.
She's here, Judge.
She's here, Ms. Philgo. Would you come forward, come to the podium here? Would the state announce, please?
We're here on Christina Philgo, 23 CF 128. She's charged in a one-count information with battery upon a person 65 years of age or older.
So, Ms. Philgo, you do have a right to have an attorney with these charges? Mr. Gates?
She filled an application out and was found not indigent on January 25th.
Okay.
I think I filled it out, Your Honor, incorrectly.
Okay. Would you give her another form? Give her another. Okay.
Okay.
Has the information been filed?
Yes, Your Honor, she's in charge of the one-count information.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't believe you have the ability to hire an attorney?
Not at this present moment, no, Your Honor.
You say you think you filled out the form wrong?
Yes, because it was returned to me and it said that I was 200% over the poverty limit, but I don't. At this moment, I'm currently not working that much since the pandemic.
Very fine. I think she just got an appointment.
And I was
Don't
told,
they have the right at an appeal process?
Yes, sir, down at the bottom of the application, after they get that it's been denied, they just sign it and it goes to the judge. Then the judge goes.
If you feel like they haven't properly reviewed it, if you say you filled it out wrong, I'm hearing you say you just don't agree with the result, not that you put some of the numbers down wrong.
I'm not sure, Your Honor, because I was told by Mr. Robbins just to show up to court.
Well,
And I
no,
have-
you did the right thing, showing up to court.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But we still haven't dealt with the issue with,
Okay.
anyway. So do you understand that form you got back? You can basically contest it and send it to the judge to have me review it, to see if I find you to be indigent. Right now, I can't give you an attorney, which is, and you're saying you can't afford one. So we're here at arraignment. Your case is going to move forward. Right now, you're moving forward pro se without an attorney, which is generally not what you want to be doing in a criminal case, particularly not with a felony. So at this point, I am going to enter a not guilty plea. And then we'll come back on your regular pretrial date of 4/10, and you can try and get some resolution with regard to the attorney, and you're not going to be adversely affected because you're not guilty plea, you're not giving up any rights at this point by entering a not guilty plea.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you'll have to come back here on April 10th. That's your regular pretrial, it's just your normal pretrial. But in the meantime, you need to follow up with that form.
The
and,
appeal, okay.
okay. And then see whether you can get yourself an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
And I live in Dallas, Texas, so is there any way that I can fill this out and leave it here before I leave?
Yeah, they put a report downstairs.
And
Okay.
just so you're aware, it's an extra $50 for the second application, so it may be easier for just to ask a review on the first application, say for
Did
somebody.
you understand, ma'am, when you got back your form, okay? You got back your form.
Yes,
You
I
got
have
me?
it. Yes.
Okay? At the bottom, they say, you basically were done. They looked at your money and said, no, you make too much money, whatever. You're not indigent. Okay, at the bottom, you can. It's right there, right here on the application. It'd be nice to see review, that's what
Okay.
Okay? You see that?
Yes, I have
Okay,
it.
well then, fill that out and get handed back to him.
Okay.
He's trying to save you $50. If you fill out another one, they're gonna charge you another $50. Okay? And you can send that back. You gotta make sure that they have a good address for you and figure out, so they can communicate with you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Do you have a question, ma'am? I'm afraid,
I have the form
okay?
with me,
Do you have a
so
question about what we're doing here?
no.
Okay? We're
No.
good. I'll see you on April 10th, and if you can, get yourself.
Just, Madam Clerk, the address I have shows it in Dallas, Texas, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the application got mailed back, you have that with you?
Yes, sir.
Just write that on the bottom and drop that off on the way out the door, and then come back in April.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Misty Hart.
Is this Ms. Hart?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would the state please announce?
Misty Marie Hart, 23 CF 205. She's charged in one count information which the state has already filed with criminal mischief. The state's offer at this time is to plead to the lesser included offense of a misdemeanor, adjudication of guilt, 90 days Okaloosa County Jail with credit for time served. Court reserves jurisdiction restitution for 90 days. Standard misdemeanor court costs and public defender fee.
Okay. So, ma'am, you do have a right at this new charge to have an attorney appointed. If you can, or have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford one will be appointed for you. You wish to have an attorney appointed here today, or are you going to hire private counsel?
I haven't been able to talk to my family about financial situations.
Well, if you feel like you can't afford one, you can have one appointed, and if at any point your family or somebody came up and hired a private counsel, if you go that direction, you can substitute. It's not won't go against you, okay? Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So you wish to have an attorney appointed?
For now, yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the court's going to appoint a public defender. This is provisional, so you got to fill out the form. The court's going to enter a not guilty plea and ask you or direct you to come back on 4/12. That's our next pretrial. In the meantime, we'll meet up with your attorney, and they have an offer on the table. You might discuss that with your attorney and see if you believe that's reasonable, or if there's a counter offer, whatever. I didn't really go into that too much because they were offering jail time. In general, I like you to speak with an attorney before you do anything regarding jail.
Your Honor, just to Ms. Hart, is we're in the courts where Ms. Hart has had misdemeanors before, and I've represented Ms. Hart, I think, before. 90 days jail will be almost passed when she's back in court on April the 12th. So, just as an FYI, she will have served with the state's officers by the time she comes back in court. With what credit I'm anticipating she's got.
She's been appointed. If you go to see her, I bet you the state would
I-
still
it
accept
was-
the offer now.
It
But
was,
I mean,
it was more in case Ms. Hart wanted to consider it today. I'll talk with her today and go over with her, but it's almost a time served by the time she comes back in court at that point.
yeah. But if you do, I mean, just talk with her later today because she can still,
Yes, sir.
we can process it, you know,
Yes, sir. And
without waiting until we come back in.
I figured I'd let Ms. Hart know that that's gonna be more than the 90 days out if we go that far, just so she's aware. Okay? You want to talk to you before you go back?
Could you?
If we can hold Ms. Hart off of and do that.
Very good. Anything else from the state?
Not on this one, no.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Scott or Holmes?
Oh, we've got Taylor now. I think he needed more time on Holmes.
Yes, you want to have a plea file or to go with Mr. Holmes and I'm talking Ms. Hart.
Okay.
I think Mr. Morrow would like to take Mr. Taylor.
We got Taylor.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Robert Taylor. Again, this is 20 CF 3063 Alpha. Had an opportunity to confirm Ms. Taylor and alleviate the confusion that we were experiencing at the podium. Again, this is going to be a plea to the bench. In 20 CF 3063, the case is VOP. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may. Thank you. Mr. Taylor, you have been charged with, as you know, the failure to notify. And you've entered a plea to the bench, which I see you have signed the written plea agreement. Have you gone over this agreement? I know we had I was asking you a few questions and I wasn't sure you completely understood the process, so I said, no, you need to go talk to your attorney. So you talked with your attorney since this morning?
Yes, sir.
And you feel like you've kind of gotten your legal questions, some of the things I was
Yes,
throwing out at you, you feel like you understand this process so that you can accept the plea if you so choose?
Yes, sir. I just couldn't read that good because these aren't prescription glasses, and I had a question or two to ask him in the back room.
That's exactly what we want to try and do. My goal in asking you these questions is merely two things. One, make sure you understand what the deal is.
Yes, sir.
And to make sure that you're entering it freely and voluntarily. This isn't about pushing you, railroading you, twisting your arm around it. This is your call. If you want to enter this plea agreement after consultation with the attorney, you're allowed to do so. My job is just to make sure that you're doing it voluntarily and with knowledge. Okay? So you've gone over like you said, you went over and asked him a few questions about what was on the plea and sentencing agreement. You feel like you got a grasp on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you understand that by entering this will be a final resolution of this matter other than the sentencing. Okay? This is a plea to the bench, so you're basically admitting to the violation, right?
Yes, sir.
That's off the table. Now we're, based upon that, you're going to argue what should be the sentencing. The state's going to argue. Your attorney's going to argue. I even call you as a witness if you choose. And then I'll make a decision. You understand that's how it's going to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, do you have any other questions of your attorney?
No, not right now.
Okay, and you're entering this, after all this, freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept the plea to the bench. And we need to go ahead and set, how long do you anticipate?
How long do I need, Your Honor, or how long for the hearing?
Pardon?
How long do I
How
need
long
before,
of
or
the
how long for the
sentencing
hearing?
And then how long
I
do we?
believe the court said we're already filled up on the 21st. I'm fine with that early April date. I'll tell the court that Mr. Gates had the foresight to go ahead and get the evaluation underway, so that I already have. I won't need additional time for that, but I think that based on what the court was saying earlier, the early April date is probably my best option.
Okay. April 6th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. It'll be in the afternoon. It'll be after 1:30. So we'll say 1:30, but 2:30. We've got an hour and a half, and then we've got a couple. Okay. That makes 3. Okay. You keep me straight. We're trying not to stack too many. We're trying not to do what happened today, where we have 9 hearings starting at 2:30.
Oh,
Which would be a virtual impossibility to complete them.
I'll pray for
We'll
you,
get
Your
through.
Honor.
Okay. On this one, we're good.
right.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have this afternoon, Your Honor. May I be excused? I don't,
Judge,
Your Honor.
just so the court's aware, I don't think we're gonna have 9 hearings, but I won't.
No, we're not gonna have
right
9.
now.
I agree with you.
We're not. I'm just
It's
letting you know.
impossible to have 9.
No, we're just not.
Okay, you're.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mara. You have a good day.
You too.
Okay. So, we're good with the arraignments. I believe that's all we've got, correct?
Eugene? Mr. Bradley's on 2:30.
That's 2:30.
But, Your Honor, I can address that if I may, with Ms. Sharpless.
Sure. Well, we're now moving toward our afternoon miscellaneous.
This is really going to be a housekeeping thing, I believe, but we might as well address it now. There was a person who brought up a message from Mr. Bradley an hour or 2 ago, saying that he tested positive for COVID and was not able to be here today.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's the last name?
Bradley, Eugene Q.
Okay, very good.
Mr. Bradley's cases are, well, we had a motion to suppress filed in the 22 CF 1274 case, and we just need to continue everything to, I think it's probably at this point an April date, because he tested positive for COVID and wasn't able to come.
Can I say that although I'm sure he's tested positive for COVID, that I do have an active warrant for him for fleeing from law enforcement officer with driver's license suspended, second and subsequent offense. He also has a warrant, just to have that there.
Okay. So,
Was that
you can get it.
misdemeanor warrant?
No, fleeing from law enforcement is a felony.
Oh, okay. So is a new felony charge?
Yes, he hasn't, well, it's a probable cause warrant, so, I mean, he knows he fled from us, so. Or allegedly, sorry.
Your Honor, I would respectfully move to continue the motion to suppress hearing in 22 CF 1274. I don't think the state objects to having that heard in April.
Your Honor, I don't, but I will say that I believe it was a girlfriend or a significant other of some sort, brought paperwork with her and said that Mr. Bradley had given it to her to give to maybe Mr. Medina, and we didn't want to touch the paperwork from someone who was COVID positive, so I asked her to, I think Mr. Medina took a picture of it, so we asked them to make sure they send a copy of testing results so we can confirm he has COVID, and it's not just.
Well, whatever.
Anyway.
For today, we don't have time to do 8 or 9 hearings anyway, so we'll continue it. And we'll continue it to April 11th, maybe April 11th, unless we want to try and do one more on April 6th.
I don't think there's a problem to do it on April 11th, Your Honor.
What do you think, Sam? Well, we're just trying to get.
Just get an idea as to where it's at. Okay, you have one case at that time.
Okay, so we'll do April 11th at 2:30.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
TJ?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Starting at the top, Elizabeth Damron. That is Mr.
Your Honor,
Skowronski.
are we moving into 2:30, Your Honor?
I am.
Because I need to speak to a couple of inmates. I've been hoping they would get up here, so I will need to go talk to a couple of mine.
Talking about for today's hearing?
This
afternoon?
5:30, yes, sir, not here yet. Oh, okay. 2:30 is not here yet? Correct. Okay.
Are there any are they all inmates?
Your Honor, I don't believe Ms. Damron is incarcerated.
Eugene Bradley is not. Unfortunately, we don't have defense counsel here.
Mr. Skowronski?
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, I'm looking right after you. I was looking kind of over on this side, and you were hiding. Okay.
Afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
I'm here on the matter of Elizabeth Damron, but she's not present yet, nor is Dr. McDonald. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. So anyway, my client.
So we're not scheduled to start till 2:30,
Yes.
so.
Okay.
I guess we can't, we'll wait, so she can hopefully be there at 2:30. You're first up, so
Okay.
we'll do that. How long do you anticipate?
Your
Just
Honor,
Dr. McDonald?
Frankly, in all candor with the court, Your Honor, I've reviewed Dr. McDonald's habitually extensive report. It's very detailed. I have no reason to dispute her finding of incompetence. And I have no objection to the court considering her report. She did a very good job.
I agree with that, with my client. I think we'll have a position to state to the court.
Okay, so we'll come back and do that. So we can, if you all agree that the report can stand on its own, we can at least obviate the need for maybe her testimony, but just deal with your client.
Yes, sir, but before we release Dr. McDonald, I wouldn't need my client here for.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll take a short break because we don't have any, let's see, Dykes, Mr. Medina.
He's one of the two I need to talk to. We're probably going to have an agreement.
Okay.
And,
we'll just come back at 2:30.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry.
I don't see him.
With the C? With the C?
KU.
Is that a 1 o'clock or you're on this paper? Is it down, Mr. Meehan?
Well, I need first name, and I got KUK.
Do you by any chance have paperwork that has a case number on it?
Yep. There is the case number right here. Looks like an NDA, Your Honor. It's probably going to be Mr.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Looks like a notice to appear. It's probably going to be a Mr. Meehan.
That's what the case number is, going to have a competence number. So what's the last name, please?
KUK.
Okay, first, that's all I need. First name.
What?
All right, 23, given attention, not trespass. And this, hold on just a sec, he's got something with the senior judge on 3-9 in Crestview. So, just so he's clear, on all his court dates, you're set for 1:30 with Judge Schlechter. And then you've also got 23
Today,
CF
1:30?
290
You're down to 1A.
in Crestview.
So is that for Schlecter's here?
Yes, sir. And then he has his Crestview senior judge on March 9th.
So with that, we'll take a short break until 2:30.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll deal with the rest of these things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All rise, please.
They're asking that for this hearing only, because we can't for this hearing.
Just for this hearing?
Just for this hearing.
Okay, gotcha.
Very good. Mr. Skibasky?
Your Honor, this is on the matter of State of Florida versus Elizabeth Damron. Elizabeth, she's present.